It's Caitlin's Corner.
Caitlin's Corner.
We haven't had a Caitlin Johnstone article in about 3 weeks. Love, and adore, and admire Caitlin Johnstone. Fire takes. Savage. She writes from Australia. Love her stuff. They record the audio version. America must prepare for war with China over Taiwan. That was the Hill's article. So her article is, efforts to groom us for war with China are getting more forceful. And we'll get to the chats. I do want to get to the chats. I've got 2 more articles, this one and one more. And then we'll get to the chats. Then we'll do some boats and smashing into other boats. But Caitlin is commenting on the Hills article where, again, she is seeing that efforts to gaslight us and groom us for war with China are getting more forceful. Great. So what are we seeing here? If you thought Western mass media have been brazenly pushy with their anti-China propaganda, wait till you see the Hill's appalling new opinion piece titled, America Must Prepare for War with China Over Taiwan. Wait, what? No, we're not going to attack 1.8 billion people over Taiwan.
Not a good move.
Territorial local dispute in the end. I mean, we've been behind them and we've been a thorn in the sides for years. It's So she says that this article goes on to narrate about Taiwan's importance on the global chessboard and why we should all expect a full-scale invasion by Beijing quite soon. Casually discuss the direct military conflict between 2 nuclear-armed nations like it's no big deal. And calls on the Biden administration to articulate to the American people why Taiwan's defense is critical to the United States. Again. And here's what they forget to omit, or what they put in the fine print. At the very bottom of the article, you get to the part that really matters. David Sauer, the author, is a retired CIA officer who served as station chief and deputy chief of station in multiple overseas command positions in East Asia and South Asia. Okay.
They didn't even try to hide them.
They're not even trying to hide it. Literally, now the CIA is the media. They used to have to infiltrate. Apparently, this retired CIA officer has been spending his retirement churning out war propaganda articles for The Hill with these types of titles. Okay. Oh, and he also writes for the Epoch Time. Just in case anybody is worried about things that The Hill might even be somewhat left because they put Kim Iverson on or because they put Crystal Ball on. No, they are a right-wing, hardcore, right-wing corporatist outlet. Scumbags. Yeah. Not a fan of The Hill. Sorry. Ryan Grimm. Sorry. No bueno. Would you like to know what this brave warrior looks like?
Ouch.
Oh, dude, really? Okay. Now that's the face of a man.
Inches is those glasses? Like, dude, what is those thick ass?
Who'd be first to volunteer for duty on the front lines of defense for whatever he believes in. You look at this man and can't help but imagine him charging into Taipei, bleeding red, white, and blue, firing an M4 carbine for freedom and democracy. He's not just talking about sending our sons and daughters into this war. No siree. I love her. Caitlin Johnstone.
Yeah,
so
he wouldn't be good at aiming, is what I'm
Why
betting.
is it that the worst warmongering narrative managers are always weird-looking little nerds who plainly wouldn't know how to hold their own dicks, much less a gun?
Ouch.
Were they bullied so bad in school they just have to act out their pent-up aggression by helping to incinerate families in the global south over crude oil or something? What the hell is wrong with these freaks? Anyone who supports the idea of the U.S. and its allies entering into a third world war against a nuclear-armed nation to determine who governs an island off the Chinese mainland is an enemy of humanity. Ah, so good. That is poetry right there. Such a war would easily kill tens of millions of people if engaged with full commitment, which could turn into billions at any time if it went nuclear. I hope Beijing never launches an unprovoked attack on Taiwan. Unlikely. And I hope the U.S. doesn't provoke it into doing so. Far more likely. But if all this brinksmanship spins out of control, and that does indeed happen, then entering into such a war, To stop it would benefit nobody but a few sociopaths in Washington, Langley, and Arlington. And quite possibly not even them. It would mostly be the defense contractors. So contrary to what propagandists like this little nerd keep implying, the U.S. is not even treaty-bound to defend Taiwan militarily and hasn't been since 1979, when the only such treaty was annulled during Washington's campaign to coax Beijing away from the Soviet Union. Yet because of their steadily escalating propaganda campaign, for the first time ever, a majority of Americans surveyed on whether they'd support going to war with China over Taiwan now reportedly say yes. And I saw the Todd from Be the Change also covered that 52% from antiwar.com even.
Yep.
All right. All these manipulations are geared towards manufacturing consent for pouring vastly increased military resources into the U.S. empire's ongoing pivot to Asia, which just by itself will necessarily include myriad provocations against the Chinese government, which can easily escalate into war at any time. These people are playing games with the lives of every living organism on the planet, and they are suffering no consequences for doing so. And now Moscow and Beijing are moving further into a military partnership that seems to be getting closer by the year in response to aggressions from the U.S. and its client states, which, I don't know, I'm no historian, but that might be cause for alarm when you've got powers splitting into two increasingly hostile global alliances. Would that lead to something bad? It seems like maybe that could lead to something bad.
Yep.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm stealing her husband's thunder here, but cornered animals are dangerous, especially ones with fangs and claws. Dying empires are dangerous, especially ones with nuclear weapons. We're being aggressively propagandized into consenting to insanely dangerous agendas geared toward maintaining U.S. unipolar hegemony in defiance of the natural movement we are seeing toward a multipolar world. We are seeing signs everywhere that the drivers of empire are preparing to do some very, very crazy things in order to stop that movement and maintain their dominance. The fact that they're still ramping up their propaganda campaign is concerning, to say the least. And still, please support Caitlin in her work. Hook her up, send her some Bitcoin, hook her up on Ko-fi, Patreon, PayPal. She's got the same type of support system. And by all means, give that a thumbs up, give that a clap.
Well, you better get hip to indie left, indie left, indie left.news.